In a unanimous decision today, July 25, 2025, the Supreme Court en banc declared the articles of impeachment against Vice President Sara Duterte unconstitutional, noting that it is barred by the one-year rule under Article 11, Section 3, Paragraph 5 of the Constitution, and that it violates the right to due process enshrined in the Bill of Rights. Therefore, the Senate could not acquire jurisdiction over the impeachment proceedings. However, the court said it is not absolving Vice President Duterte from any of the charges against her, but any subsequent impeachment complaint may only be filed starting February 6, 2026. The case stemmed from 4 impeachment complaints against Vice President Duterte. The first 3 were filed before the House by private individuals and different groups on December 2, 4, and 19 in 2024. A 4th complaint was lodged by a resolution approved by more than 1/3 of the House members of the 19th Congress on February 5, 2025, which was transmitted as the Articles of Impeachment to the Senate on the same day. This was followed by 2 petitions filed before the Supreme Court. The transmittal will only take place upon the qualified vote of 1/3 of the House. We quote from the final note of the unanimous decision. It is not our duty to favor any political result. Ours is to ensure that politics are framed within the rule of just law. We cannot concede the sobriety of fairness inherent in due process of law to the passions of a political moment. Our fundamental law is clear. The end does not justify the means. We understand our history. We have learned that in the past, momentary desires to do what is convenient and concede means to ends have inadvertently created precedents that weaken the succor of law for those who dissent, or those at our society's margins, or those who may have fallen out of grace from the powers that be. We have learned that the clash of political interests in the past, often disguised by noble intentions, has obscured the need to address the real problems of corruption, inequality, poverty, and disempowerment faced by our people. We will not allow that to happen again. We will not hesitate to declare what is legal, just, and right for our people. There is a right way to do the right thing at the right time. This is what the rule of just law means. This is what fairness or due process of law means, even for impeachment. End of quote. The Supreme Court's ruling is immediately executory. It shall be deemed served on the petitioners and released upon publication in the Supreme Court website and receipt of the parties of their digital copy in accordance with the guidelines on the transition to electronic filing in the Supreme Court. We urge everyone to read the full text of the decision and the concurring opinions. Thank you very much.
Hi, Attorney. Muna na ako. Adrian Ayalin po, ABS-CBN.
Adrian.
So, sa madaling sabi, wala pong magaganap na impeachment trial ngayon. Hindi pwedeng mag-hold ng impeachment trial ang Senado.
Well, the court said that the House complaint versus the VP is unconstitutional and null and void, and therefore the Senate did not acquire jurisdiction to convene as an impeachment court.
Hanggang until February 6, 2026 na hindi pwede.
The February 6, 2026, that's the due date. I mean, that's the date until when another complaint can be filed.
Okay.
Or initiated.
And wala na pong pwedeng magawa ang House of Representatives, as you said, immediately executory.
It's immediately executory, but they always have the option to file a motion for reconsideration.
Thank you, Attorney.
Attorney, Ben Punta po sa Philippine News Agency. To clarify lang, it was a unanimous decision. There was no division among justices of the
It is a unanimous decision, although there were 2 justices who did not vote.
May we know the 2 justices who did not vote?
Yes, so that's Justice Benjamin Kagiwa. He inhibited, And there's Justice Maria Philomena Singh, who was on leave.
Hi ma'am, Salima Refran of GMA. Ma'am, para po mas maintindihan ng publiko, ano po yung naging dahilan ng Korte Suprema kung bakit nga po naging null and void ito nga pong articles of impeachment at hindi po dapat matuloy ito nga pong impeachment trial laban kay Vice President Sara Duterte?
Well, number one, it said that the articles of impeachment, which was the fourth complaint, violated the 1-year period ban because there were 3 complaints that came ahead of it. And although Congress was able to include it in the order of business, it did not refer it to the proper committee within the 3 days because they had to adjourn. So the Supreme Court said that they archived it, and as a result, it was terminated, therefore deemed dismissed. So the 1-year ban will start or count from the time it was dismissed. So the fourth complaint could not have validly been transmitted to the Senate.
Tapos ma'am, meron din pong sinabi yung Korte tungkol po dun sa hindi nito ina-absuelto.
Yes.
Tama. Pwede pong pakiulit yun and pakipaliwanag yung parte pong yan.
So the court The court said it is not absolving Vice President Duterte from any of the charges against her. So that means, again, hindi siya absolved from any of the charges. But any complaint for impeachment against her can only be filed by Feb 6, 2026 onwards.
Kumbaga, pwede pa rin humarap.
Pwede pa rin.
Hi, Attorney Mikael Flores of Reuters.
Hi.
Attorney, just to clarify, so essentially the decision acts on a procedural flaw on the part of the House of Representatives in initiating the complaint, and it does not really act on the merits or the grounds that were cited in the articles of impeachment, because he also said that the decision does not absolve the Vice President of the charges that are lodged against her.
Yes, so the decision does not delve into the merits of the impeachment complaints against the VP, but rather it just said that the impeachment complaint that was transmitted to the Senate was void for being contrary to the 1-year ban, and that it violated the due process rights of the VP.
And in terms of way forward, when, for example, the House of Representatives invoke their independence as a co-equal and independent branch of government, how is the court planning to weigh on a possible, constitutional crisis should they defy this order of the court and invoke their independence as a co-equal branch of government?
Well, right now we cannot answer a hypothetical question such as that, but I am confident that the House and the Senate will respect the decision of the Supreme Court.
Thank you.
With your indulgence po sa tanong ko. Pag ganun ba ma'am, there was a grave abuse of discretion on the part of the Congress, which is a co-equal branch of the Supreme Court of Judicial Branch.
Yes, so under the 1987 Constitution, the Supreme Court was granted the authority to determine whether there is grave abuse of discretion in any part of the government, including co-equal branches. All right. On, see you again. Happy Pride.
Ma'am, Friday na po.
Off the record na.
Off na to
Off the record.
Parang di acted na yung first
Chika na lang po ito chika. So it was actually partially in session days, pero hindi na lang forward.
But yung, kung mag-exam RC na, paano yun kung hindi secretary, pero pwede nag-PRO lang. Kapag hindi nag-PRO lang.
So, kumbaga, inintay na lang po talagang matapos yung buong proseso instead of maglabas na.
Hindi pa po tayo
Oo.
Yeah, first day. Sabi ng court, consider it dismissed within the
Okay mga kakli, siguro mamaya na tayo magko-comment. Okay, dapat nating, wait lang tanggalin ko muna to, tanggalin mo yan. Yan. Mamaya tayo magko-comment at checkin natin mga kakli kasi wala pa po tayong kopya. At siguro pero magko-comment na tayo dito sa sinabi ni spokes ng Supreme Court. Okay, babalik po tayo mga kakli ha. Just lang po. Tingnan lang po natin. Iti-take up natin to. Thank you. Bye. See you in a while.